There are several reasons that I voted no on this budget. First and foremost is the danger to children in our foster care, adoption, and child protective service system by not funding an appropriate number of staff in those areas through this budget. Not only does the lack of sufficient staff means children may fall through the crack, but it also means that the state may face sanctions for not being in compliance with the federal consent decree as part of the children's rights lawsuit. And we certainly have a lot of those. We offered an amendment that would staff Children Protective Service at the level required by the consent decree by reducing some of the over $20 million in new general fund spending proposed by this budget, but the majority prefers these pet projects and 36% private providers rate increase over the safety of our children. And these new projects are all in one area. We also know that field staff in this department are woefully overworked. This budget rejects the restoration of 197 field staffs that were cut from the current year allocation and rejects the transition of 200 limited-term staff to full-time positions. In addition, the majority in this budget continues their policy of removing 3% of funds related to personnel in retribution for not being able to win a fair vote regarding employees' pay. In some budgets, this means the department has to eat 3% overall cut. Not so for DHS, as the cuts come from lines that only contain employee salary and benefits. The result could be as many as another 300 FTEs that are not funded. Other reasons to vote no include the lack of funding for the JET Plus, which could threaten future federal emergency TANF contingency funding. The imposition of new costs on counties under the child welfare system, the undermining of training and support service to child daycare providers, and the imposition of a new privatized call center, which will add virtually no assistance to clients or relief to caseworkers. For these reasons, I will vote no, and I hope in conference we can do a better job of living up to our obligation, both legally and morally, to the children of this state. Thank you, Mr. President, and I ask my colleagues to vote no on this budget.